The quiet suburbs of Minneapolis were shattered early this morning by a cold, calculated act of political terror. State Representative Melissa Hortman, a Democratic powerhouse and former House Speaker, along with her husband Mark, were gunned down in their Brooklyn Park home by a suspect posing as a police officer. In a related attack, State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were shot multiple times, both now clinging to life after surgery. As the lone Democrat in the House to join Republicans, Hortman supported SSHF1, a bill stripping undocumented adults from eligibility for Minnesota Care, the state's low-income health insurance program. This 68-65 vote, with Hortman as the decisive crossover, marked a stunning departure from her party's progressive rhetoric. The Democrats decried Hortman's vote as cruel and immoral, with Representative Maria Isa Perez Vega chanting, "This ain't one Minnesota," in protest. Days before her murder, Hortman, physically shaking, defended her vote as a necessary compromise to secure a state budget in a tied 67-67 House.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
Yet, this single act of pragmatism may have sealed her fate, as whispers of retribution swirl in the wake of her assassination. The shooter, identified as 57-year-old Vance Bolter, remains at large. After engaging in a firefight with police at Hortman's home, he fled on foot, eluding capture despite a massive manhunt involving the FBI, Minnesota State Patrol, and local forces. Bolter left behind a manifesto and a target list naming Hortman, Senator John Hoffman, and dozens of other Democrats. No official motive has been confirmed, but the No Kings flyers found in Bolter's vehicle tie him directly to the raucous anti-Trump rallies planned across Minnesota and the rest of the country.
We don't have any direct links. However, there were some flyers that said No Kings.
And the plot thickens as Bolter has been identified as a 2019 appointee to the Governor's Workforce Development Board by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa Hortman, and her husband Mark were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination.
And as Trump's military parade marking the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary begins to roll out, the left's refusal to cancel these rallies reeks of hypocrisy and cognitive dissonance. Preaching peace while aggressively rallying against kings exposes the fractured ideology that Hortman's vote and her death have laid bare.
We still are free thinkers, and, that's what they want. They want to be able to, they're already doing that with, hey, we're a democracy. No, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. We're not a democracy. But you see everybody on the left every day, and we even see people on the right now going, save democracy, democracy now, and they're pushing this big lie.
This brazen assault, unfolding just hours before these rallies, exposes a chilling escalation in America's political divide, where political-motivated violence from the left is replacing discourse at an alarming rate.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
John Bound reporting for InfoWars.